Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Craze here, and I'm making a little designing tutorial video, you could call it. And I'm just going to show you that, guys, for the new beginners, the simple um banner making, because there really aren't that many good ones. There's a lot of um advanced ones, but I'm making the easy one, like for the average beginner. I knew when I did this, I had no idea. My idea of a 3D banner was some 3D text, and that was it. So let's get our. So we want to start out with the AI. If you don't know what an AI is, I'll leave a link in the description to a tutorial explaining it, or I'll just explain it later in this video. I'm not sure. Screw it. I'll just explain it now. Basically, an AI is a Adobe Illustrator file that is basically splines in Cinema 4D. You want to have for this. I forgot to mention for this tutorial, it'll be two-part tutorial maybe, and you're going to need Cinema 4D and you're going to need Photoshop. I'll leave a link to both those in the description. Alright, so for the first one, for the first thing, I'm going to show you guys how to make an actual 3D thing. So you want your AI, you want to click merge, and then grab your AI. I already have the L7 one in here. I just found that I'm using the L7 because actually I'm going to use a different one because the L7 is fun to work with, but it's a lot. There's more stuff you can do with certain ones, like wherever, let's see. The arrow logo is fun. So let's use this. I love using this logo. Personally, it's my favorite. But alright, so you got your logo. Just drag it over and put it down. This is the easiest thing to do. You don't always have to do this, but it's just going to make it easier. And then you want to scale it. So grab your scale tool and just scale it down a bit, just so it's not as large. And then grab it and just drag and drop it in your extrude NURBS. And then I usually use 45 for mine, if it would work. Oh, my number lock isn't on. 45, so it's a good width, as you can see, and it's just easier to work with when it's like this. So most people will just make a render like that, put something on it. I like to I've got a couple. You want this Reaper plugin? We'll probably be using that. Nitroblast, I sometimes do it, but it's not my favorite. I don't really know how to use it, so I won't be making the tutorial. So grab your rotate tool and just play with it. Just find out what looks good. Is it that? Is it that? Is it this? Play around with it. Never do. First rule of designing in my book is never ever only do it once. Make sure you check all angles and make sure it's done right, or else people are just going to be dissatisfied with it. Since this is quick, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I'll probably make a more in-depth tutorial. Let's just group this. Makes it easier. Logo. Oops, caps lock. Thank you. Alright. So it's just gonna look like this. I have no idea what this is. I'm not like going to do all that in just a group, but then you want to set your camera. Cameras, when you have the dots, when this is white, it means you're using the camera. When it's not, you can tell that that's not the camera. So go ahead, when you're in your camera, just make it simple, and then I'm gonna do that, and then try to center it. I'll also be showing some very good my personal favorite render setting, and I'll show you how to place lights. So since this is just going to be a logo banner, I'm not getting the text. Let's grab a light, drag it out if I can find the tool. Drag it out, and just, you want to have one of these lights. Oh wait, this is the wrong light. Oops. Just put like one right in the wings. Just find key points to put them in. That's where you want to put them. I usually put mine like in the actual wing on both sides. It just makes it look better sometimes. And you don't always have to work from your camera. Like I said, just press this button and then you can see where everything is. Okay, now that that's done, I'm just gonna, there's this which renders your view, and that looks choppy because there's just lights right here. Alright, so grab a target light or a spotlight. I usually use targets because they're much more efficient in doing their job. Spotlights are fun for certain ideas, but sometimes they just don't have the required effect. So you're going to want to do, oops, that's screwing up. So you're going to want to do that, and then always have an outer lighting in the back, because if you don't, it can really make 3D look bad. Like when this renders in the black background, it looks a bit weird down here, but that's the way that I want it to look. You always just want to have what you want to look. And so for these two, I'm going to turn the intensity down to like 46 because I really don't want two bright lights right there. And then let's grab the spotlight wherever it is. Spotlight. Oh. And then just move it over a bit. Have it go through the center of the logo. And you can make the target light do that or whatever you really want it to do. So that's going to look much cleaner. I just personally think it looks cleaner. And remember that this isn't going to be that complicated of a tutorial, so I'm not going to be showing any advanced materials. I'm going to be showing you a simple way. So you can use the built-in part for this. Oh crap. I want it to, right there. You never want to forget that you're in camera. It can be disastrous depending. So that spleen actually worked perfectly. Spleens won't always work perfectly. Like this one, see how it drew behind? Because it's just a 3D modeling program that's not that efficient at it. So I just recommend doing it from here. Like, I think that's what we're gonna do. So, and then you want to hold shift, not control, because control will make the spleens go wonky. And then grab your spleens and then just move them so that they're coming out of the text or the logo or whatever you're working with. And so once that's done, like this one, select spleen, should be spleen 2, yep. Select it, grab the 3 points, and then move it forward. It's coming out, and looks nice. Alright, so now we're getting the material side of things. This is horrible to work with, personally, but that's just me. I always work with this because it's so much easier. So you can drag this around to wherever you want it, but I usually just grab object soft shadows because you can twist them all with which way, which I really didn't want to do that. But so let's grab our soft shadow because it just gives a nice, it doesn't give you too much, it gives you a nice amount. So I mean, for this I'm not going to use that. I'll do 2 tutorials of this and I'll just make it normal. So we're going to do like a light blue, because actually let's do white and black. So it's going to be white, and you're going to want to have no reflection, nothing but a color. Because, I mean, colors are fun to work with sometimes, but they just get annoying, especially speculars. I cannot describe how many times I've been pissed off by a specular. because it looks wrong sometimes. And so you have two options here. I do not recommend doing both of these, although if you're good enough at this, you can make it look good. Most people say do fillet caps, but I really don't like them all that much. I mean, it makes it smoother, but if you're planning to do a different type of style for each of them, like a different color, then you don't want to have a smoother output, I guess. Um, so really, I usually use convex. Sometimes I'll go out on a limb. I'll do concave just to make it look nicer. And so you're going to want to delete this off so it looks like that. And so we're just going to render this. The spleens won't show because they're not wrapped. That's the main thing. You could use the spleen wrap. Or the sweep NURBS. I have no idea how to use those. I've tried before. It's not fun. But and then so next, I'll show you an example of something I did with this. You're going to want to do the same thing. Grab your. This one you're going to want to use a darker. I think black's my favorite to work with this. And I just put on a black reflection. Nope, I'm actually going to use a bit lighter than black. 65 for everything. It's going to look better. 65, 65, and 65. Alright, and so that's a bit lighter than I want, so I'm just going to move this down to 40s, the mid 40s. That's going to look dark enough. And now you want to take this, I'm going to take the reflection down. It's not that I don't like having that, but the chrome can just be too much, especially when it's awful light. So now just put this onto there. You'll see this. I need to check my time. 12 minutes. Alright. And you'll see that now it looks a lot cleaner. I'll render it in a second and show you. But like when it's like this, it just looks much better to me. I don't know why. It just does. But I'm going to render this. And it's not going to show the black very well. But once you get into Photoshop, it's going to look a lot better. So let's grab this. This time is where it gets annoying, because if you don't do this right, oops, I didn't mean to do that. You could connect the spleens, makes it a lot easier, but I'm gonna click off that because I don't want that to happen. So we're gonna still have our move tool. Grab your plugin Reaper 2.0. This is a very important plugin and it helps so much. I cannot tell you how much I've got my butt saved by this. So get yourself down to one strand in about 2 meters in the radius. And it's going to look like that. And it's going to look pretty good. And now is the time for you to get a third material. I usually don't do this just because it annoys me having to make a third material. But I'm going to make it just somewhere in between, because I'm going to darken it up later. And it's going to look, I think it's going to look pretty good. So let's get a reflection, because you never use the reflection on the actual main color. What you would call this is the key color, the one that's, it's not going to, not by printing standards, but 119. All right, 119. Oops. 119. 119. Alright, so it's lighter, and now I'm gonna turn this reflection down, because, ooh, I just hate reflections sometimes. But you can also play around with displacement, but I don't like doing that because it just looks rocky, which is the point of it, but we won't let them be satisfied. So for now, you want to get all the spleens in about equal, or else it just looks wonky. So I'm just going to zoom out just a tiny bit. Alright, now it comes down to the render settings. Now this part is very important. Get your you want to have an HDTV and then 1280 by 720 standard, right? And then this usually doesn't matter unless you are doing a motion track or something. And I'll make a tutorial on motion tracking probably. I'm not a good editor, but I can motion track. Y'all can give me that. I'm joking. I can't motion track with a ball sack. So grab your PNG. You want to have it as a PNG and always have the alpha channel selected. These two don't matter. I never use them. But if this, you always want to have it as a PNG. And now just find your, I usually have one thing, and I just use that. And one folder to hold all my renders. So I'm going to do tutorial render. And I'm just going to have it as that. This is where the fun stuff comes in. If you like CC, creating CCs in Photoshop, then this is going to be a lot more your thing than actually creating it. How to explain this? Global illumination. This gives you just a better illumination, and it makes the use of lights more better. Ambient occlusion, I usually take it down to just like that. It's a gradient bar basically, and I just pull this one off because it's not doing me any good, and I just pull the blacks out a bit, and then pull the whites out to meet it, so it's got a good nice little median, and then it's just going to look better. You can change the colors of these, but I usually just keep them black. And then color correction. I always make my color correction a bit darker because it just looks better if you do it right. I love using curves. Gradient intensity, I usually put about 90 just so I don't screw it up too much. Saturation about 10%. Brightness, I just do like -1, contrast +1, and that kind of evens it out. And then exposure, just 0.9, 0.1, gamma 0.14, and then this just makes it fun to do. I don't know, you can play around with all of these. You can have a cell render, whatever you want in this, but this is just a fun one to do. This is your red, green, and black. Your red, whatever. I don't play around with these too often. They're the RGB. But so now you've got your render settings all good. Your thing's gonna look zoomed in, but that's normal. Alright? So just move it up into off to the side a bit. Just make sure that you're not cutting off any splines. Up here is okay, but zoom out a bit and I should be good. Oh, just zoom in. There we go. Should be good. So I'm going to render this. And the render setting is what gives it such a long time to render. So I might just cut this out. I have no idea. But depending on how long it takes to render. So this is going to be just a preview of what we have. So let's see. Oh, it might not take that long. It's got your thing in the corner. I'll show you another, I'll start the text one while I'm here. So, while that's rendering, text can be for the better or for the worse. MoGraph, you need this program. It's such a good plugin. It makes it so that you don't have to use the splines, which are a pain in the butt. Like, you could do that, but it's just annoying. So get your Motex, because it's already like that. It has so much more that you can do with it. This is going to be a bit more, how do I say it? Bit more complex. So, there's Iwi. Shout out to Iwi. I'll leave his link in the description just for being in the video. Iwi Bay, yeah, that's him. So, let's go. There's my Photoshop. I'll show you that later. So, let's just do text, because I want to do like a 4. I usually use Segoe UI. You want to have a blocky text. I don't have too many examples except for like bolding certain ones, because otherwise I just don't like having that many fonts, even though I have like 2,000. I can't find them, and some stuff just doesn't work on my computer. So let's see. This is not done rendering. Okay. Because I didn't wait it out and look at it, it stopped rendering. So let's just render this out and we'll see what happens. So while that's rendering, let's go into our other thing. You get from thing to thing by going down to here, and you can always go into body paint if you want. Your menus, whatever you want. You have your body paint 3D. So I'm in here. I want to go to bold and then middle align. And then I usually put this at about 50 instead of 40. Just for the burst. This is based more off of Wiz's pixel theme. So I'm just gonna show you that. So this would be so you got your text correct. Let's just do craze. I know I said I was gonna keep it, but I want a 5. So you got this. And then you want to come up to MoGraph, grab your poly effects, and drag and drop it into your MoText. So you're gonna find it and whatever it does. So grab your effectors, have this selected, and then go up to MoGraph, effector, and then go down to random. Drag it and drop it, and then you can make it so it's got weight, or I forget how to do this. Hold on. Effectors, random. The random basically makes an explosion. So this can look good in some aspects, but also it could look pretty bad. You could have a freeze transformation where it transforms and freezes. But how's this doing? So this is rendered. Let's carry on with this. And it looks pretty nice. Alright, so you got your thing. Now it's the hardest part, in my opinion. Renders can be hard, but making the backing for a render is just bull. I hate doing it. It's annoying. We all hate doing it. So, open up your Photoshop. I've got I usually do banners, but for the sake of this, I'm going to do a Twitter header because I already have it open. So, this is just a recent Twitter header that I did. So for this, you want to fill it with a black background. I know it sounds weird, but it sounds weird doing it, but just fill it with a black background for now. We can always change it. So just grab the black and okay. Always make a new layer when you do that because you don't want your previous layer if you are working on a different project. Now I'm going to put you want some sort of pack, a graphics pack. I'll put my Skype in the description. I'll send you the one that I use. I just put it together out of a couple of different packs, and there's a lot of stuff in there that you can use to your liking or to your not liking. And you won't find this if you look up here. It's the essentials of Photoshop, but I've just renamed it to designing, just so that I can open up different artboards and not have to get all this stuff again. So make sure Photoshop decides not to crash. Come on. Photoshop. Thank you. Be very much appreciated. I'm sorry guys. I hate it when it does this. Hold on. We are experiencing some technical difficulties. So, grab Task Manager. Wait for it. So, Twitter. Alright. Okay, here we go. So this is an old thing that I put. This is where you put the render, basically. So I'm going to delete this render because I don't need it. And let's open up let's first of all cross some stuff off this task manager. We're actually going to close down Cinema 4D just because we don't need it anymore. And my computer's sucky. So it's just going to... Nope. Alright, and now let's just close out of this. Photoshop takes up most of my memory, as you can see. Alright, and then that's that. So you want to open up find your file, find whatever you use. I use, like I said, a folder, and this is where it goes. And I just grab this. So grab this. You can always play around with the lighting right here, but I just suggest you do it in the pack. It's a lot easier. So put it in your pack, and it's not going to look good at first, but you want to add a couple extra layers just to play around with colors. I'm going to switch this. I'm going to put a lighter. I'm actually going to put it at gray. Grab your brushes. Brushes are your life as a designer. People think, oh, I'll just use pen tool, blah, 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 blah. Brushes. It's the life of a 3D painter. It's the life of a designer. This is what gives you the ability to be able to light your thing, so it's going, if you do like a screen, it's going to do that, and it's going to look crappy until you create a clipping mask and put the clipping mask on the right layer. Always make sure you do that, and then just turn down the opacity, just because I don't want that much of a lightness, or I can just erase it. You can always do lighten, linear dodge. Sometimes this works. If you're doing this, never touch the black. It's annoying. It's balls. Actually, that's not working, so let's just grab this, and this time I'm going to be careful not to touch the black. Let's pop this in there. Dot, dot. Clipping mask. Basically, what I usually do is I make the darks darker, the lights lighter. Just add a bit of accents. Makes it more fun. This usually lightens it up if you do it how I'm doing it right now. But just rub it along the splines, because the splines are going to be neglected because the light's facing towards the center. So just grab your, lighten up the spleens best you can. I should probably be using white, but I really don't feel like doing all this. So just close this out because I don't need it. Alright, and then once that's done, you're going to do Control E. Control E, and then, so this is my effects folder, and I usually use particles, not the lights, but I use particles more than I use lights. Move it up. Oops. Wrong. Fuck. Wrong thing. Alright, grab this, move it up. I don't understand what it's trying to do. This would usually give it a more shaky, smoky thing, but it's on white and it's on lighten, so it's not going to work. This works very well. Not this one, but this one. I love using this. If you're on a darker texture, it's so fun to use. This is where I wanted to show you. So everyone knows that you might not always have the best idea for that, but you can always turn up your saturation and get the blues in, get the greens, or if you don't feel like doing it, you can just grab 0, 0, thank you, mate, and then just turn, so I'm just gonna use a darker blue than this because that's ugly. Grab brush. I'm telling you, dudes, brushes are your life. Or I can make this easy and just do this. Magic wand tool is fun, but every once in a while it decides it wants to be a bloody butthole of a tool. So that works. Grab this. The wings are going to be the hardest. You could just outline them if you wanted to. But I'm just going to do this. Son of a gun. This is why we don't like this tool. And now you just do this and you layer via copy. You could just layer via copy and make it easy on yourself, but then just do a color overlay. See? And just, if you want it red, put it red. I usually work with blues because they're just more fun. Grab this, and then I overlay it. This usually works if I'm doing it right. Overlay. And it just gives it a blue tint, and it's actually able to be, if you combine these now, it's actually be able to, it usually works, but I'll figure it out. Oh, I'm a bloody idiot. So grab your curves, darken, turn your reds down, turn your reds down, turn your greens down. But your greens you want to turn down significantly less than your reds, and then your blues just heighten. Actually, just do that. Just do that, and then you're good. You got this. So the blues are more apparent. No color balance. Blue. More blue. More blue. But I'm going to do something because I want these outer ones to stay somewhat the same. Just grab the eraser, and because it's still in, like, there we go. All you have to do is erase it. This is probably going to end off part 1. I'm not sure yet, because I probably have to go soon. But, alright, so this is you want to grab these and just control. So now you got your blue render, your semi-blue render. So now you grab your smokes. You're able to use this one that I love using. You're able to use it more if you put it on overlay. It's on lighten. Let's just put it on screen. I usually control J a couple of these. I just drag them down and overlay. Oh, this would help. Thanks, Mako. Just hide one of these. So that's how it would look. That's how it would look normally. And then I just free transform usually. I always do free transform in the starts because it's easier. Just stretch. Now it's that big. Now just clipping mask this. And then you've got your starry kind of stuff. And then if you want you can put another couple on there, but I usually don't. So let's grab another particle effect because I can't have enough. This one's fun, and so is, if I can find it, that one's a bit fun, but there's one in here that's overused as ball sacks, but is so sick. Alright, for now, we'll just use this. So first off, drag this into your banner. You've got it all set up, you've got it however you want it. And now it's going to look decent. This is in CMYK, so the colors are going to look off naturally. So now it's just an RBG. So, and then we're going to go back and grab your particles and your smoke. We're going to create a backing. Backings are the hardest things in the universe to do, but if you do them right, they look the absolute best. This one right here, I'll show you it. The backing was okay, but I increased it with some stuff that just made it look so much better. So let's grab this one. Is way too, if you find one like this where it's way too crowded, just turn down the opacity like to 1 or 2%, and then grab it and say screw it and put it on just for fun. See what happens. It makes you look like you've got a space, and you can turn it down even more, and if you even want, you can take down your fill. The fill doesn't do much, I don't believe, but just screen it. Yep, screen looks good. So now it gives it that backwards effect that you don't want it. It's not the start of it, but it's not the end of it either. It's not the last thing you notice, but it's not the first thing you notice. This one's fun to use, I believe. Let's grab another one. This one also. So this one's more of a something that you put on the actual render. It's not something that's made to go in the background, but we're going to use it like the background, like it's something to go in the background. So if I saturate it enough, looks like that. I can make it blue. I can make it tinge blue. And then if you just turn the opacity down. Opacity helps so much, and you overlay it. It just gives this such a nice effect when it meets the blue. All designing is making sure you have your colors correct. So now, where's the other one that I had? It's not that one. Here it is. This one is a backing. It's made to go in the back. It's not made as a grunge material. It's just made to not be noticed as much. So you just shape it any way you want. It's really up to you. This one, but you're going to turn the opacity down a lot because there's a lot going on in it. You're going to put it on an overlay and turn the opacity down. Or it's going to make an impact, but it's not going to make that much of an impact. I usually have all the backings together in one, so I can turn the opacity down if I need to. Just make it calmer. So let's just close out that because we're not going to need it. And then, this is looking good so far. You can always add too much. If someone says you can never add too much, they're wrong. If I added every single thing into this, it would look floppy. It just wouldn't look right. You gotta place your sparks, place these, place them so that they're not totally overwhelming the main attraction. So just grab them. Hold on! Screen. And just turn down the opacity. And so this is looking pretty good. So now we're just going to add a couple more things. I'm doing this all with particles. This is no lighting yet. Lights, flares have not been used. Like, I can make that look sick on this. Because it's blue. You want your colors to match, always. You can just do that, and it'd be done. But no, you don't want to. You always want to add a bit more complexity. Always make it less apparent than it should be. When you're making wallpapers, this helps so much to make it less apparent than it should be. This is another good one, good example. I think this is going to be the last one because I've shown some effects, I've shown some flares. So this is basically from here to here. You've got your Ara banner. very fun to make, but it takes a lot of time. I spent a total of 40 minutes doing one thing, and it's just so much fun to do. This will probably be uploaded tonight or tomorrow. Hope you guys enjoyed. So, this is a Twitter header. I'll probably just make, this is just a bit of self work. Always have a watermark. Always. So, let's just grab a sample. Let's go to the error YouTube. Error returns. Forgive me for stopping. I don't know why. Error returns. Let's just watch this guy's video. Not watch this guy's, but not watch it. But here it is. Here's new YT. John's Empire. This isn't right. Alright, let's look up Air Eternity. So this is probably screw off ads. Excuse me. Alright, era has ended, that's why I'm doing this. So it's Scuff and Elgato. So we're going to go back in our pack, and I should have company names. If not, I'll add them tonight. No, I don't. Alright, let's just grab a recent. I've got a pack in here, here, like Flows pack. Check Flows pack, and just grab a YouTube or YouTube, Twitter, and then their sponsors. Alright, so open up this pack. There's also layer styles are very, very useful. I wonder if arrows in this. It should be. Yep. And then if you want to, you can always just overlay. Like, I would grab this, put it as a blue. Oh, yes, I forgot. One very fun thing to do is to take this and make a copy of it, and then make a copy bigger and put it behind, and then overlay it. Not overlay it, but like take a soft light to it. Actually, just screen it, and then turn the opacity down. And you can just barely see it in the background, and it makes it look so much better. I'm actually just going to do this at a normal. Yep, it has the same effect. It makes it just look a lot better. So, in the end, pack everything together. You can throw a CC on it if you want to. I'm not going to, because this one's a rather simple banner. It doesn't need it. And then, so, let's find our. Oh, I thought this one had it. Does it have it? Nope. I thought it did. I'm sorry, guys. Give me a sec. I'm not opening that pack. That'd kill my computer. Give me a sec. I've got a lot of stuff, so. Just open up the Illuminati pack. It's a fun pack. This is probably spam. So these guys quit. I'm sorry about that. I didn't want them to quit. They were very good. But I thought that they had... Do they not? Of course they don't. You know what? Let's just make this easy. Go to chat. Desktop. Go to my... I don't have it on here. And then desktop. I've got Monk 7 ads. Monk, if you do watch this video, I do not have any. I'm not making any money off this. I'm a designer too. It's probably just spam. So do this and then just find whenever the custom company logos are. And then they were Elgato and Scuff sponsored them. So you're going to grab wherever the Scuff, there it is, in the middle row. Scuff and Elgato. You've got them, put them in here. Let's drag and drop, and then I just put one over here and another one over here. You can always use rulers for this, but I really don't feel like pulling them out right now. And then if you've already done this, just drag and drop and overlay, and it might make it look better. No, it doesn't. Of course not. That means I have to... There we go. Alright. Grab these. Pull them off. Put them in here. Alright. Just put the fade on them. Give it a blue overlay. Put them under this. Yeah. So this is your final product. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I really do enjoy making these now that I've figured out how to do them correctly. This was actually a decent banner, despite what I thought it would be. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I have a great day. And as always, I'll see you guys whenever I do this next. Thank you and goodbye.